Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good afternoon. My name is Dr. Syahiman. I am an instructor of the subject BE4163 Alternative Energy. So, in this Friday, we are going to learn a topic of grid-connected PV system. This system is also called as a grid-tied PV system or on-grid PV system. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, we're going to start from the first part, which is the design criteria. Okay. Design criteria for the grid-connected PV system. Okay, before you plan or going to install the grid-connected PV system in your place, there's a critical part that you must do at the first place, which is site survey. So, the word site and survey means you're surveying the site for several things. Okay. The first thing is to determine solar access for the site. Solar access means the amount of sunlight, or in the proper words, solar irradiance. So you are going to have the exact solar irradiance data on the specific site that you are going to install your grid-connected PV system. It is very important for you to know that data because you have to determine whether any shading will occur and estimate its effect on the system. Shading or shadow is the biggest enemy for the PV system. When your PV system is blocked by several obstacles like trees or nearby buildings, it will create shadow on the surface of your PV modules. When a shadow exists on the surface of your PV module, it will totally degrade your output of your PV module. So the generating current will significantly reduce due to this existence of the shadows. So that's why it's very critical for you to go to that place, bring your solar irradiator, bring your sunshade tools or a solar pathfinder to verify whether the shading throughout the day is covering your PV module at any site of the PV arrays at the place that you're going to install. Look at the place. For example, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., you must exactly confirm there is no significant shadows that can affect your PV system. Okay. Some people will refer to the meteorological department to get the rough solar data, and sometimes they also go to the several institutions that have the pyranometer on their place, so they extract the data. Sometimes they pay only to get the data of the solar irradiance for the place. However, if you don't go to the place to go to the site, you are not going to get the exact information about the installation site. So it's very critical. Okay. And after you get that kind of source of data, then you can estimate the solid source at the site for 1 day, for months, and for a year. Okay. The second one is to determine the available area for the solar array. If you are going to install on top of the roof, okay, you need to make sure the material used for that rooftop is installable, is capable to withstand the weight from the solar modules. If we are going to use the zinc, for example, zinc is okay. If you use the ceiling or concrete, ceiling cannot, concrete and normal roof. But if you're going to use asbestos, the material itself is very hazardous and dangerous because it can affect to the, it can cause a cancer to the installers because the particles are very sharp. Okay, so you can use that. Okay, and then how the modules are mounted on the roof are very critical for you during the installation. Okay, which for example, before you install the modules, you need to have the series of the aluminium frame. Okay, and you means that you drill directly the aluminum ring on the frame of the roof, and then on top of the aluminum frame, then you're going to arrange your modules. Okay. Next thing is to determine components location to be installed. Where should you put the modules? Which part of the roof that you're going to install the modules? Where you should put the inverter? Where should you put the kilowatt hour meter? Where should you put the junction box? And so on. The critical part is how long the cable need to be pulled from the PV modules until the inverter. 7 meters, 10 meters, depends on the cable route. Then cable routing is very critical. Okay, you need to use the solar cable instead of DC cable, because solar cable uh, heat resistance and double insulated and so on. Okay. Okay. After that, then you're going to select the inverter, the purple inverter. I've mentioned in the previous chapters already. We already learned about that. There are several common inverters in the market: central, multi-string, string, and modular. So you decide. You decide what type of central after you do all the studies. Okay. And besides that, there are several things that must be considered during your selection of the inverter. The first one is peak rating of the PV array. If you're going to install one string of PV modules, each module you're going to use the 100 watt type. Then you plan to put 10 in series. So it means that the peak rating of your PV array is 10 multiplied with 100 watt. You're going to get 1 kilowatt. So that 1 kilowatt is the peak rating of the PV array. The next thing is whether all the solar modules are in the same plane, same angle and direction. It's very critical for you to know the surface of the place, the land, or of the roof that you're going to install the PV system. Your PV modules must facing in the same direction. For example, we are in Malaysia, so we are located in the northern part. So we are going to face our modules towards the south. If, in average, the best that I know, to the best of my knowledge, I learned from several experts. So in Malaysia, around 8 to 15 degrees towards the south is the average the angle for the solar modules installed in Malaysia case. Okay. So the third one, the type of shading that occurs on the array. Try to avoid the shading. The shadow can degrade your output from your PV system. So if during the site survey, that's why the survey is very important. During the site survey, we should know already, is it shadow exists on our modules throughout the day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So if there's some shadows that we cannot avoid it, but that shadows may be less 5%, 10%, very little, that one maybe we still can consider to install without worrying. But if it cover more than half, even a single module can cover more than half from the surface of the PIN modules, even at the edge side, it's very critical for you to avoid it. Okay. So next is the capital cost of the different inverters. Of course, you need to do the market surveys for all the inverters available online, or ask from the distributors, suppliers, and then do survey first. All the specification, go through all the specification and the price and the size, get the rated power. It should be suited with your system. Okay. The next is that the average annual energy yield is the amount of megawatt hours per year that you are expecting to get from your PV system. Okay, you need to do the calculation. Data calculation we are going to learn on the next chapter. Okay.